around to close the kill. Gambit, despite the team of Virtus.Pro being at home, take pole position into the playoffs. The first team to qualify, I wouldn't have expected it, especially it's been so long since we've really seen an international event from them.
Absolutely. Who would have thought? 3-0 for Gambit after going 5-0 down as well. Great recovery, I have to say. Adren, what a performance as well. And that double orb setup, Matt, towards the end of the second half, nothing VP could do about it. They were shut down every single time.
Great performance, as always, from Gambit. I have to say always, because when they're at the majors, that is the case. And remember, Virtus.Pro, yes, they have improved. Yes, they go 2-0 to start it off, but now in the 2-1 bracket, anything can happen in a Swiss system. So they've got to keep the foot down. They've got to make the playoffs in this event. Has gone by the smoke, jumps up, no noise, jumps up, no feet spotted, jumps up, sees cold, and Big is in the playoffs in their first ever major. 3-0 taking down world number 1 and world number 3.
What a story. Sure, it's just in the playoffs. We sound like we might be overcooking it a bit, but sorry, this is amazing. 3-0 after going through the minors system, the major qualifier, and now at the major. People are surprised they even made it to the major itself, and now they're beating two of the world's best teams. 3-0 in the playoff, joining Gambit, and not even having to go towards overtime there. The misfits of the tournament, some of the names that have dropped off out of the scene, and they've done it. Tabson delivering a great performance there in the final round, 3 kills, and he seems to do that every single time they cross the finish line. Next to a great game as well. God B, amazing in the pit. The gear chiming in as well towards the end. Very impressive performance. And SK, they need to come back tomorrow to look there for their place in the playoffs.
And take your bug and squash it, because I watched as best I could while also casting to see if anyone did the glitch. I did not see it once on the CT side. So throw that theory out the window. They've done this on merit. Well deserved. They are legends. And they get 2 days off, much like Gambit. They'll be able to relax. And while knowing them, they won't relax. Watch a heck of a lot of demos.
Oh, yeah. They're not done yet. That's just the beginning of their journey here. Commiserations to SK, but just to note as well, they're now 2-1. They still have 2 lives in this tournament. Very likely they make the playoffs still. Frustrating for them. They'd have loved that time just to kind of chill out. They've got their families here with them as well, have 2 days off and just kind of recalibrate, ready for the playoffs. But they'll come back tomorrow. But Big, like you said, 2 days off. Who would have thought? Gambit and Big, your 2 teams. Your first 2 into the playoffs so far, and that concludes day number 4 here at the major. Played though, we said he had a quiet game so far, but looking to rectify that. He takes the first kill and the second as well. Nice headshot towards Kenny S. 5 on 3. Gets taken down eventually by Shoxy and gives him an AK. And they still have the advantage here into the 1 minute 30 mark. Nice play by Glaive.
Play indeed, Shocks. His way out of Wheeler in a very interesting fashion, I guess. Knife out, smoke not down, just gives himself up. Perhaps they've just given up on the game.
Well, they haven't looked like they ever arrived, to be honest.
It's fair.
So,
fair point. MBK partially blinded. Zipix won't go all the way around the corner. But Astralis about to move on. Can take the night off. G2 won't have such luxury, and I would say for them, sit back down at the practice booth, boys. Get to work, yeah. Because the round 5 matchups aren't going to be favorable either. Astralis in it, 3-1. We'll move on. Our 3rd team to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I want to focus more on G2. They felt like they lost that game, then Astralis winning it. They just didn't really... You can see the setup. They looked dejected. That's not G2 playing on the server right then. That's a team I haven't seen before. That was uninspired, lackluster Counter-Strike, not really thinking in terms of what can we do to get in their faces, what map control can we go for here. Double orbs came out once, that was quite decent, but it's too late. Round number 13, those double orbs came out. We talked about it so much in the pre-game, you can see it earlier on to have a chance. They got very unlucky in the clutches, I will give them that. Win a couple of those potentially, and you would feel like they probably had a stronger chance of winning this game. But Zipex at 3v1, I think that was the end of the game right there. They couldn't really recover from that situation. Money was just in the bin throughout, and everyone from Astralis looked good. Maybe apart from Glaive, very quiet game from him, but some of the big names, Kenny S especially, we expect him to go massive on Inferno generally, and he was just missing very key.
Just won't commit to the peak because he's left alone. No need to give it up at this point. As Snacks tries to bait them in, they'll allow him to get the plant, or will they? Cajun just goes, or excuse me, Config just goes straight in. And North have their legendary spot again. They'll go into the playoffs, and Virtus.Pro now go into the very, very scary round 5.
Roller coaster of a game now, Matt. What an exciting finish as well. Major's boy, we said at the start, he seemed like he had dropped off. He wasn't finding that form. We needed him to be the superstar of this team to beat teams like Virtus.Pro. He finds it at the very end as well. 2 kills from shore, just as the fake seemed like it worked perfectly to Virtus as well. They were going to get that bomb down. It seemed like it was a done deal. I need to see those kills from his POV. That looked fantastic. Very crisp headshots there. And you have to say as well, AZ, probably one of the best performances we've seen from him this year in terms of the impact he's having in the frags, that connected position hold. They couldn't shut him down. He knows it as well. He looks very confident throughout that game.
Yeah, he looked fantastic. And North, again, our legends, they get revenge on Virtus.Pro, who knocked them out of the last major in the quarterfinal. And as we say, VP, who went 2-0 to start off, and everyone was thinking, okay, great, they're going to be in their home event finally. Yeah. Are playing in a match tonight that is make or break, and what a break it would be. Second event in Poland this year that they wouldn't make the playoffs if they don't win that. Now we're getting ahead of ourselves. We don't know. They're losing too many men. They're losing too many rounds. 16, in fact, as SK make it back into the playoffs, and Immortals will go into the draw to play again in round 5.
So it's 16-9, Matt, but it feels like it was a much closer game. So many clutches, so many force buys, a lot of passion, a lot of clumsy CS, but that's what happens in these derbies, I think. Always. It's never a traditional game. It's difficult to get rolling and play really beautiful CS, and so much talent on the server as well. That's what we've come to expect of these two teams. Really entertaining to watch. High-octane CS at its best, I think.
And respect between these two teams for obvious reasons.
Yeah, of course.
Fallen will definitely be rooting for them to still make it through to the playoffs, but he'll be first and foremost glad their job's done. They can go back to the hotel, rest tomorrow, and get ready for the quarterfinals on Friday. Whoever they should play.
Indeed. Yeah, they looked very frustrated, didn't they, yesterday? Again, after the defeat of Big, rightly so. It was a game they expected to win. They wanted that clean 3-0 sweep of the group stages, but still, making it to the playoffs, job done. It's not goodbye from Immortals, very much just joining us.
Compounds the problem. Kenny alone was a Tech 9, he can't do it. 16-10, Fnatic, a very strong performance from them in both halves on Overpass. We thought the comeback might be on G2. They made it double figures, but ultimately they were denied. They will not make it to the playoffs. Fnatic are successful. Can they get back and win their next major? Is this the time?
They looked very strong indeed, and we've seen a refinement of their style, but their style is so unique and so evident still. They haven't lost their identity. The identity that did allow them to win 6 major tournaments back-to-back and at one point be the most dominant team in the world. It's been a while for them, but this is a good start back into it, and it's heartbreaking for G2 to match up against Fnatic. They're a team, again, that are so difficult to play against. It's never easy to prepare for them.
You can see the emotion on Kenny's face. He's trying to hold it all in at the moment. That is a brutal way to make your exit. Such a difficult match. It was so hard for him to deal with, round by round by round. Again, going back to that first half where pretty much every of the few round wins they had, it was almost all force buys there, just from late plays from Fnatic, and in fairness, good timing to G2, but what a struggle.
Absolutely, and I really feel like from G2 we actually got to see a lot of hearts from them, because again, all the experience, as much experience as the veterans of VP, but no, it's going to be Virtus.Pro, the home team, in front of the home crowd, live on Friday at the Toron Arena here at the PGL Major. What a fantastic display of Counter-Strike, of discipline, of mental fortitude from the Polish side. So many will be happy, but still, so many will be heartbroken. Cloud9, sadly, eliminated.
Pretty tense match here, no matter who you are supporting there, but with Virtus.Pro being the home team, perhaps it was inevitable, but boy, did they take the difficult route to get there. Virtus.Pro finally making it to the playoffs. Automatic, Stewie, their first major has come to a close. And again, it's been a difficult road for the side, but they've shown themselves well today. They had some nice strats. You see how happy he is for Taz. He wants to play for his countrymen, and he will.
And this is the Virtus.Pro that people fear, when Patch is firing off, when you have a team that's just one man left. It's what it is. And Immortals finished this one as they started in dominant fashion. They will be making their way to the arena for the quarterfinals of the PGL Major here in Krakow from the Toron Arena. It's going to be a lot of fun to see them continue their storyline after so much trouble to qualify.
Brazil looking strong here in Poland, and that was a very strong game for Immortals. Flip side, weren't able to show us much on train. unfortunate end for them after some nice performances in some previous matches, and indeed, flip side did gatekeep some other teams, but they're always here at these majors, and we look to see them in the next one. Their run has come to an abrupt end thanks to Immortals, and I'm really happy to see Immortals looking that strong. That was a dominant performance. That's a great boost moving into legend status, into the playoffs. That is a weight off their shoulders for sure.
And I think Immortals are such an interesting team too. They've been grinding so hard at so many events, back-to-back lands. They've experienced a lot of turmoil, with what is the lineup going to be, and then so much turmoil and not being able to make the qualifiers in the past when we see everyone sees that potential. No one more so than themselves, and eventually they find KMG. And it's again an aggressive AWPer that's quite a complete player as well, and that seems to be. Somehow it just clicks, and they have a style which obviously they're able to showcase here where they can make stuff work that other teams can't because of the nature of their players, and that makes them very exciting.
Yeah, very nice match for Immortals, but there are definitely tougher tests to come once we reach Friday. But congratulations to them. What a run for their first major. How far will it go? Maybe Paul and